Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, as we delve into the story behind this coin, we begin to understand why even modern coins like the 2002p Jefferson nickel are worth taking a second look at, especially if you're a coin enthusiast, collector, or someone who has recently stumbled across a handful of old nickels and wonders what they might be worth. To understand the significance of the 2002p Jefferson nickel, we first need to step back in time to understand the history of the Jefferson nickel itself. Introduced in 1938, the Jefferson nickel replaced the Buffalo nickel, which had been in circulation since 1913. The reason for the change was due to the difficulty of minting the Buffalo nickel and the significant wear issues that made it hard for the details to remain intact over time. Felix Schlag, the designer of the Jefferson nickel, submitted a portrait of Thomas Jefferson for the obverse and a depiction of Monticello, Jefferson's home, for the reverse. This design remained largely unchanged for over 6 decades, making it one of the most recognizable coin designs in U.S. history. Now focusing on the 2002p Jefferson nickel, this coin was minted in Philadelphia, as denoted by the P mint mark. The Philadelphia Mint has played a pivotal role in American coin production since the 18th century, and by 2002, it was still churning out billions of coins annually. The 2002p nickel had a mintage of over 361 million coins, which may seem like an extremely high number, but within those millions are varieties, errors, and condition grades that can significantly increase the coin's value. What sets certain 2002p Jefferson nickels apart is not just the condition, but the presence of mint errors, varieties, and other anomalies that often escape the casual observer. Die cracks, double dies, off-center strikes, and repunched mint marks can elevate a 5-cent piece to something worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars in the right market conditions. Collectors who specialize in error coins often keep a close eye on modern nickels because the machinery and processes, while improved over the centuries, still leave room for fascinating mistakes that turn ordinary coins into extraordinary finds. In terms of design, the 2002p Jefferson nickel features the left-facing bust of Thomas Jefferson, with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year 2002. On the reverse, we see the familiar Monticello building, with the inscriptions, E Pluribus Unum, Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America. This design had been in place for so long that it became a staple in American pocket change, but by the early 2000s, changes were on the horizon. In 2004 and 2005, the U.S. Mint began issuing commemorative designs as part of the Westward Journey nickel series to honor the bicentennials of the Louisiana Purchase and the Lewis and Clark Expedition. This means that 2002 was among the final years of the long-standing original design, making it more interesting to some collectors who value completeness and historical transition. While many people overlook coins from the early 2000s, considering them too modern to hold any significant value, seasoned collectors understand that scarcity is only part of the equation. Condition, demand, rarity of specific errors, and even historical significance all contribute to a coin's market value. For example, 2002p Jefferson nickel in circulated condition might only be worth its face value of 5 cents. However, in uncirculated or mint state condition, the value can rise. Coins graded MS65 or higher by recognized grading companies such as PCGS or NGC often fetch more on the market, especially if they display exceptional luster, clean surfaces, and full steps on the reverse, a grading term referring to the visibility of the steps on the Monticello building, which are often worn or poorly struck. The full steps designation is particularly important for Jefferson nickels. A coin with 5 or 6 clearly defined steps on Monticello is considered of higher quality and rarity, and can drastically increase the coin's value, even for a common year like 2002. Some collectors focus exclusively on full steps nickels, making them highly sought after in the numismatic community. A 2002p Jefferson nickel with full steps and a grade of MS66 or better can easily be worth over $50 to $100 or more depending on market demand and population reports. Speaking of population reports, it's important to understand that coins graded by professional services are logged into databases that track how many coins of a certain year, mint mark, and grade exist. A coin with a low population in high grades is inherently more valuable because it is rarer in that specific condition. For example, if only a few dozen 2002p nickels have been graded MS67 with full steps, collectors may compete for the limited supply, driving prices upward. Another interesting angle for the 2002 P. Jefferson nickel is the emergence of error coins that have garnered attention in recent years. These include examples with die clashes, where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving ghost-like images on future strikes. There are also known examples of off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned due to the coin being struck off the center of the die. Such coins, depending on the degree of the error and visibility of the design elements, can be worth tens to hundreds of dollars. Coins with broad strikes or clipped planchets, where part of the metal blank is missing due to a production mishap, also hold value for collectors who prize anomalies. Collectors and investors alike also pay attention to trends in precious metal prices and general economic factors, which can influence demand for certain coins. While the 2002 P. Jefferson nickel is not made of silver, its composition is 75% copper and 25% nickel. The coin market often mirrors the interest generated by rising metal values. When gold and silver prices rise, interest in all coins tends to increase as well, pulling more collectors and treasure hunters into the fold. This ripple effect can elevate prices for even base metal coins like the nickel, especially those in pristine condition or with known collectible varieties. Showcasing high-value nickels found in pocket change have inspired many to start checking their own coins more carefully. The 2002 P. Jefferson nickel is frequently discussed in these circles, especially when it comes to identifying valuable mint errors or learning how to grade coins for potential submission. This democratization of numismatic knowledge has led to increased awareness and competition among collectors, often resulting in price surges for coins once considered too modern to be collectible. It's also worth noting that the coin market is not static. A coin that was worth a few cents a decade ago might now command a much higher price due to shifting market interests, grading trends, or a newly discovered error variety. The 2002 P. Jefferson nickel has benefited from such attention, particularly as collectors begin to realize that modern coins offer a fresh and accessible avenue into the hobby without needing to break the bank. Beyond value, many collectors appreciate the Jefferson nickel for its historical connection and enduring design. Thomas Jefferson remains one of the most influential figures in American history, and owning a coin that pays tribute to his legacy offers a tangible link to the past. For newer collectors, starting with modern nickels like the 2002 P provides an excellent opportunity to learn about coin grading, mint marks, historical context, and the subtleties that make one coin worth more than another. It is also a gateway into exploring other denominations and older coins, building a more comprehensive collection over time. As for current market values, a circulated 2002 P Jefferson nickel might only be worth face value unless it has an error. But uncirculated examples in high grades, especially those with full steps, where the real value lies. Coins graded MS65 by PCGS or NGC generally sell for around $5 to $15. MS66 coins can reach $25 to $75. If you find one graded MS67 with full steps, you might be looking at a value of over $100, depending on the coin's eye appeal and overall rarity. Another factor that drives up value is the presence of registry set collectors. These are individuals who compete to build the highest graded set of a particular coin series, as recognized by third-party grading services. A registry set collector may pay a premium for a top 2002 P Jefferson nickel to complete their set or to improve its ranking. This dynamic creates real-world demand and can lead to bidding wars in auctions or strong offers in private sales. In the broader scope of U.S. coin history, the Jefferson nickel series is a testament to the durability of American design and the evolution of minting technology. From 1938 to 2003, the design stayed remarkably consistent, creating a long-running series that now attracts collectors who enjoy assembling complete date and mint mark sets. Next, 2001 P Jefferson Nickels USA coins. Today the Jefferson nickel is one of the most recognizable coins in American history, having been minted continuously since 1938. The design has undergone some changes over the years, but the core elements, the portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse, have remained symbolic of the coin's legacy. In the year 2001, the United States Mint struck the Jefferson nickel with the mint mark P, indicating that it was minted in Philadelphia. While this particular coin might seem ordinary at first glance, collectors and numismatists have uncovered a world of value and history associated with this nickel, especially when considering condition, errors, rarity, and demand in today's market. The 2001 P. Jefferson nickel was struck as part of the regular coinage intended for circulation, and millions were produced. That might suggest that it's a common coin, and in sheer numbers, it is. But the value of a coin is never based solely on how many were made. Other factors come into play, and that's where the fascination begins. The mintage figure for the 2001 P nickel is over 639 million, which is quite high, but within that massive production run, variations and high-quality examples have emerged as valuable finds. Let's take a closer look at what makes the 2001 P Jefferson nickel worth far more than face value in some cases. For one, collectors often seek coins in pristine, uncirculated condition. A 2001 P nickel that has never been used in commerce, showing no signs of wear, and has maintained its full original luster, can fetch far more than 5 cents. Coins graded MS66 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC are considered premium quality, and when a coin reaches those grades, its value begins to climb steeply. Some of the most desirable 2001 P. Jefferson nickels are those that exhibit strong strikes, no contact marks, and full steps on the Monticello building depicted on the reverse. Full steps are a grading term referring to the clarity of the steps on the Monticello image, ideally 5 or 6 complete steps without interruption. Full steps nickels are particularly valuable because they are harder to find, even in uncirculated rolls. A full steps designation can multiply a coin's value significantly. What's more interesting is that error coins from the 2001 P series have turned up in the hands of collectors and on the open market. These errors, which result from mistakes during the minting process, are often one of a kind or limited in number. Popular errors include off-center strikes, clipped planches, double dies, and die cracks. A dramatic off-center strike, for instance, can be instantly noticeable and fascinating, making the coin a standout addition to a collection. Depending on the severity of the error and its visual impact, such a coin can be worth anywhere from a few dollars to several $100s. Double die errors are particularly sought after. These occur when the die used to strike the coin is imprinted twice with a slight misalignment, leading to doubling of design elements. In the case of the 2001 P. Jefferson nickel, collectors have reported minor doubling in some issues, especially around Jefferson's eye and inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty." While not all doubling is dramatic enough to command high premiums, those that are clearly visible and authenticated can be quite valuable. Clipped planches, where a portion of the coin is missing due to a misfeed during the punching process, are another category of error that adds value. While minor clips might be worth a few extra dollars, larger and more defined clips can reach into the tens or even low hundreds of dollars. Die cracks, though more common, can still increase a coin's appeal to collectors, especially when they occur in unusual or dramatic patterns. A die crack is essentially a fracture in the die used to strike the coin, and this fracture transfers to the coin's surface during minting. It creates raised lines that can sometimes form shapes or noticeable patterns, which collectors often nickname, adding personality and demand to the error piece. The history of the Jefferson nickel adds a lot to its appeal as well. Originally designed by Felix Schlag, the coin replaced the Buffalo nickel and was intended to portray one of America's most prominent founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson. Over the decades, the coin became a staple of everyday commerce, making it a familiar presence in people's pockets. However, familiarity has not diminished the coin's potential for value, quite the opposite. In many cases, it's the ordinary-looking coins that hide extraordinary worth, particularly when examined under the lens of condition and rarity. In 2001, the U.S. Mint was still striking coins in the traditional style, and the Westward Journey nickel series had not yet begun. That would happen in 2004. So, the 2001 P. Jefferson nickel represents one of the final years of the classic design era before the temporary transition. This makes it an important transitional marker in numismatic timelines. It's also worth considering how coin roll hunters and everyday hobbyists have helped uncover valuable 2001 P nickels. These are people who go through bank rolls of coins, often looking for older or rarer examples. It's through this grassroots hobby that many mint errors and high-grade coins are found. In some cases, lucky individuals have discovered 2001 P nickels with perfect mint luster and full steps in circulated rolls, later getting them graded and selling them for a significant profit. Current market values for the 2001 P Jefferson nickel can range dramatically. A typical circulated example, with signs of wear and handling, might only be worth its face value, 5 cents. But an uncirculated example can bring $1 to $5, especially if it shows minimal contact marks and retains its original mint shine. Once a coin is graded MS65 or above, the price increases more rapidly. Coins graded MS66 might fetch $15 to $30, while MS67 examples can exceed $100, especially if they carry the full steps designation. On rare occasions, coins at MS68 or higher have surfaced, and while exceedingly scarce, these examples can command prices of several $100s, with some approaching or exceeding the $500 mark depending on demand and auction conditions. Add in a rare error, and the value can skyrocket even further. The current coin market has shown a steady interest in high-grade Jefferson nickels, especially those from the late 90s and early 2000s. As more collectors focus on modern coins, the demand for pristine and rare examples has increased. Online auction platforms, coin shows, and marketplaces like eBay have made it easier than ever for collectors to find and trade coins like the 2001 P nickel, further influencing its value. Authentication and grading services have also played a big role in the valuation process. Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guarantee Company both offer encapsulated certification, ensuring that a coin's condition and authenticity are preserved and trusted. Many of the high-grade 2001 P nickels that command premium prices have been professionally graded and given a numeric score out of 70. Another factor to consider is the aesthetic appeal of the coin. Coins with strong eye appeal, even if technically lower in grade, can fetch more than those with weak strikes or unattractive toning. Collectors often look for coins that pop visually, with clean surfaces, crisp detail, and original mint luster. A sharply struck 2001 P nickel with a pleasing look can outshine technically superior coins that lack visual punch. Collectors also examine the historical context of the coin. The early 2000s were a period of transition for the United States Mint. Technological improvements were being introduced, and the minting process was becoming more efficient, but that also meant some quality control inconsistencies during the shift. Some of the errors from this time are directly related to changes in minting practices, making them a snapshot of the mint's evolution. When looking to buy or sell a 2001 P Jefferson nickel, it's important to research recent auction sales and market trends. A coin that sold for $10 last year might be fetching $20 this year if demand has increased. Similarly, prices can drop if a large hoard is discovered or if attention shifts to other series. Timing, marketing, and presentation all play a part in the coin's ultimate market value. Even raw, ungraded examples can sell for solid premiums if they show high quality or obvious errors. Coin dealers, local shops, and online groups all play a role in setting and shifting values, often driven by collector interest and scarcity. It's not uncommon to see listings for 2001 P nickels described as rare or valuable if they possess full steps, clean fields, or well-documented minting mistakes. In recent months, coins in the MS67 range have shown increased interest among both collectors and investors. The Jefferson Nickel series is relatively affordable compared to other coin series, which makes it attractive for those looking to build a full set. When a collector is working on a registry set, essentially a competitive collection submitted to a grading service, the need for high-grade examples becomes critical, and that competition drives prices upward. What also makes the 2001 P nickel notable is its role in telling a broader story of American coinage.